Welcome everyone, this is GSmusicICT and welcome to another Tuesday Talks. If you have been a musician for long, or you've played in multiple bands or groups, you have surely been to a band practice that was nothing more than drinking, watching funny TikToks, telling jokes, having smoke breaks that take up more than half of the time spent at the rehearsal space. I have been the one who's been annoyed by the time wasters, and I have been the time waster myself more than anyone. In my old rock band, we all agreed that Sunday mornings was our rehearsal time, from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock. We had 3 hours. Now, I used to have to drive 45 minutes both ways. So just to do a rehearsal, I'd have to commit to an hour and a half of driving, on top of 3 hours of rehearsal. So the days when the time was absolutely wasted, no. So I would get frustrated when time would be wasted, whether it was through members being late, extra people being in the room, just distractions. So today, let's discuss bad band rehearsal etiquette that I have experienced, things that I have done myself, and things I've heard from other musicians. And if my bandmates are watching this, you know I've made all of these mistakes. This is not a hot take on my old band members. So today I wanted to make a video to talk about 5 things that you should avoid to have a productive band practice. Tip number 1 is our cell phones. They don't need to be in the rehearsal room, because I can tell you if I saw something really funny on TikTok or Instagram or something, at some point in the rehearsal I would stop and show it to my bandmates and we'd all crack up laughing. Whether it's text messages, Facebook, whatever it is, it can wait. You don't need your phone out for a band rehearsal, especially if you're carving out 3 hours of time. If you need to look up lyrics to sing, if you're learning it, I guess that's alright, but you should probably practice more. And same thing goes for the drummer and the bass player and the guitar player. You need to practice this not only in rehearsal, but on your own. Rehearsals are to learn everybody else's part and how it coincides with your part. Practice is what you do at home. I wish that we had made a rule to leave our phones upstairs or to just turn them off or put them in a bag or something, because it would have saved us so much wasted time. So tip number 1, leave your phones out of the rehearsal room, or at least turned off. So tip number 2 of what to avoid for a productive band practice is extra people in your rehearsal. Now, sometimes we would bring musician friends over and they would jam with us for the fun of it, and other times maybe our girlfriends, and it's not always bad. I remember our bass player's girlfriend maybe came to 2 practices, maybe 3, but she just sat in the corner, put on her headphones, and did her college work on her laptop. It was never a distraction, but in most cases, if someone brings their girlfriend, it's going to be a distraction, and it should just be your band members for the 3 hours. Just 3 hours, or whatever your practice schedule is. It's just, you're going to be a tighter band. You're going to get so much more done if you follow these tips and you do these things. Tip number 3 of what to avoid at band practice, and this is going to piss a lot of people off in the comments: alcohol and other recreational use items. Now, I can hear people in the comments right now saying, but that's my inspiration. Look, it's fun. I get it. I do. It's fun. And it's even more fun when you're playing music. You're flying high, and then you're playing music with your buddies. You feel great. And it is great. It's fun. It's probably way more fun than practicing sober. But you're not going to be tight. You're going to feel like it was a great set, but now, some of you are going to die on this hill, and hey, more power to you. I'm just saying, you're going to be more focused and remember more of what you did if you practice sober. Tip number 4 of what to avoid is not having a practice plan. So at least before you practice your set like you're playing a real show, you need to have a plan of what song goes in what order, what song needs the most work, and practice that way. Because I mean, I've shown up to a practice to where we're just, hey, do you remember this one? Yeah, kind of, and then we just, completely bomb it and move on to the next one. If you want to be a really tight band and you want people to just, be obsessed with how you played either your songs or covers or whatever, you have to practice. And it has to be a really intentional use of your time. Because at least with band members will get this, that you can eventually, when you spend enough time playing music with each other, you can hear when the drummer didn't practice this new song. You eventually pick up on things like that, to where you can just hear and you know that they didn't spend a minute on this. They just listened to it in the car on the way over to rehearsal, which I admit I have done. I've been that guy. Tip number 5 of things to avoid: excessive breaks. It's okay to take a break here and there during a rehearsal. That's not an issue. But let me tell you a story. I was 19 years old and I got a chance to audition for this rock band, and I was super excited. And so I broke one of my rules I just gave you and brought a friend with me. And it worked. He wasn't a distraction, but he kind of was, but it worked out. They didn't care. And the reason they didn't care is because I spent 3 hours with these guys. 3 hours. We played for a total of 20 minutes. Maybe 25 if I'm being generous. The rest of the time, half the band would go outside to smoke, the other half would go to the fridge and crack open a beer. So the bass player would maybe have a beer or two, but he would never really get wasted or anything like that, But the drummer and I, we didn't smoke, we didn't, have drinks at rehearsal, we just kept it pretty chill and pretty sober. So, like I've said, I have made every single one of these mistakes about the phones, bringing extra people, not having a plan, very rarely, but sometimes would be drunk during a rehearsal, and I was only drunk during one show in our very, very early days, and yeah, that was not fun. To me, it went well, but I'm sure to everybody else, we probably sounded terrible. So after that show, I swore I would never get drunk before a set. So those are my 5 tips on what to avoid to have a productive band practice. I'm gonna do a part 2 on 5 tips of what to do to have a productive band practice. So you're basically gonna get 10 altogether. So this has been another Tuesday Talks. This is GSmusicICT, and as AC/DC said, it is a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.